what is it? What's the #1 podcast ad? Hoover's the vacuum
I don't know what you're
company.
saying. Are we?
It's Hover. We are recording.
Okay, are you ready?
Hoover.
You're watching or listening to Forget Being Cool. We discuss the things you like.
It's Forget Being Cool for May 15th, 2020. I'm your host, Dave Moore, and that's Johnny Casino. This is the show where we talk about whatever the hell we want. That's my main man on the internet, Johnny Casino. I messed up the whole intro.
Dave, there is a burning question.
Oh, yeah?
A burning question.
Yes.
And I think we need to put it out to the listeners. And we started talking about this before we hit record, and I had to stop us.
Huh.
So we have not figured out what Funny or Not Who Knows is, right? We haven't figured out what this bit is. So here's the question to the listeners, and I need response. Every person who listens out there, I need you to at Johnny Casino me, right? At Johnny _Casino, JONNY _Casino.
Should we just give them my phone number? They could just text me.
Yeah. I was watching Impractical Jokers, which is something we watch all the time, right? So it's 4 guys, and they basically three guys behind the scene. One guy has to go out and do it, and if he doesn't do what he's told, he fails, right? So they're out on the beach.
Can we make that a bit? Can we do that as a bit, John?
That would be difficult.
Can we do a man on the street bit though? We could rotate it then.
Oh yes, I think we might want to do that. I have the equipment for it.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway.
That's why I'm saying I should use that $250 recorder I bought that used for 5 episodes of Dead Air, and then 3 school projects, and then put it in a shelf and packed it up and never used it again.
Yeah, mine's actually sitting right over there in front of me where I can see it.
I had to make a sound effects project that was really dumb. It was like, hey, go out and make 5 sound effects. You don't have any context or any movie film you need this for, but go figure out how to make 5 sound effects. And I was like, okay, that's lame.
So what I was going to tell you though is on Practical Jokers, one of the things, the guy goes out on the beach, he's walking around, and a plane flies by with one of those like big signs being pulled on it, and it says like, "Call me, I'm lonely," and it had that guy's actual phone number on it, and he had to change his number because now everyone on this beach in Florida had his phone number.
Did they show it on Impractical Jokers?
I mean, they blurred out part of it, but he still had to change his number because he was getting all these calls from however many hundreds of thousands of whatever people were on this giant beach in Florida.
Well, that and the people who saw the show, they didn't blur it out.
Yeah, no, they blurred out. They blurred enough of it out for the show.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, they didn't go that far. But anyway, the burning question though, Dave, is does Funny or Not Who Knows become the name of the overall show, right? Because going into each one of these bits, that's what it is. It's funny or it's not, and who knows?
Right. That's why I feel like it's a good name. It's like, whose line is it anyway?
Yeah. And just like whose line is it anyway, the points don't matter.
Right.
But do we do that, or do we keep it under the name we discussed, Forget Being Cool segments? I
don't know. This is a burning poll.
This is. I don't know how many listeners we have. I'm not going to speculate one way or the other. But the
analytics section of the website isn't even a tab I know where it is anymore. I don't know if it. Hell, the numbers could be actually up to date and they could actually make sense now, and I still wouldn't know because I'm not even going to look.
Okay, now you're making me really want to look when I upload this audio later. But
don't look, John.
However many people listen, every one of you, even if you're someone who never responds to a podcast ever, please tweet at me, Johnny _Casino. Tweet at Tell You Dave, at Forget Being Cool, all of us, whatever, and let us know. I really want to know what the people who listen to the show think. Should it be Forget Being Cool segments or Funny or Not? Who knows? So that's the first part of this out of the way, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, how you doing today?
John. It's one of those days where you're living in the, God, I hate saying this, the new normal. Anybody? Okay, can you know what? I have a gripe. You want my gripe, John? You want to know where this gripe lies?
Well, here's the question: should we start with gripes? Because I got some stuff to gripe about as well, Dave.
No, but this is related to this. And this is where I'm at right now, just in my current state of mind, and whatever. this is the example, John, is when somebody says, "How are you?" You go, the same, and then you move on, and they go, "Same shit," or "Same shit, different day," or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not the same shit. It hasn't been the same shit. It hasn't been the same shit for like 3 months. It's different shit.
It hasn't been 3 months, even though it feels like it.
It's been a completely different color for like.
It's green now.
Yeah, it's greener now.
Hey, it's always greener on the other side, Dave.
Yeah, so that saying, it's basically that at its core is driving me nuts when we say same shit, different day, because it's not the same shit, and it is a different day, but it's different shit, different day.
Dave, can I tell you about the greatest message I got today was?
Sure, John, you can tell me about all the messages you got. My favorite thing that happened today. You want to talk about my favorite thing that happened today?
Sure. Why not?
Was Skinny Matt giving Grouchy shit on Twitter before having a jibba jabba or whatever the hell?
The last few days, I'll pull up my Twitter and realize that I haven't looked at it in like 10 hours and be like, oh, crap. And now I got to catch up through this. And when I catch up, I miss a lot of things because I'm just like, I'm not reading all 400 things, right? I don't follow that many people. Dave.
Hey, Grouchy, we still love you, despite you have a jibba jabba in high school. So I'm not actually making fun of you. I just want to make that clear.
The greatest message I got today was from Rachel, from your girlfriend Rachel, who was saying that she was listening to the show, and I think this was today, and she was listening to the part about you talking about ice cream, and she said, and I quote, "He did not eat 3 gallons of ice cream. He ate 2 quarts." That is 1/6 of the amount of ice cream that you let on that you ate.
Look, I don't know how big these containers are, and it was definitely 3 quarts. Because I can tell you, there was one of strawberry, one of vanilla cherry vanilla would be the correct one. I'm more than halfway through a Snickers one right now. That's really good. Some Reese's one. And then there was a bunch of vanilla that I ate, like regular, straight vanilla.
Okay, Dave.
I hear people talking in the background, John.
It's my wife yelling at the cat that I cannot stand.
Is the oboe going again, or is the bassoon?
No,
it's a bassoon.
The bassoon is not going right now, and I do not know if it's going to happen or not today.
How did your bassoon conversation go?
I didn't have one. I was too tired, and it didn't last very long. Oh, as I yawn. Oh, I've not been sleeping well. Dave, you want to hear my complaint?
Yes.
My little bitch here. So I've been cooking a lot, and I've been trying new recipes, trying to find new recipes to, because I'm home more and I'm cooking more. I want to find more things to throw into the rotation. And you go to this website, and this website would be for like best chicken sandwich. I don't know, whatever, right? And it can't just start with here's the ingredients and here's how to make it. It's got 35 pop-up commercials, like one video, 2 at the very bottom, 1 somewhere else, and then it has. Not only that, it has like a 3,000 word essay about like why people should make these things.
Yeah, why this sandwich is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then finally you get to the part where you actually get the recipe. And it's one of those things where I think a lot of them now have like a button, you like skip right to the recipe. But I don't care. No, stop it. Stop it. And I understand they're doing this so that they get the SEO or something and have enough words to get picked up by Google or whatever it is.
I was going to tell you, it's SEO, which is fine.
But stop it. Yeah, that's not what I want.
No, it's not. And the reality is if you high websites.
High websites.
If you gave me what I wanted more often, I'd probably visit that site more regularly. Every time I go to a damn site and a pop-up comes up, especially on my phone, oh my God, I just leave. I go to the next article.
You just go to the next porn site. The porn site without pop-ups.
Hey, John, that's not what I said. I go
I'm
there.
Just saying,
I go to the internet. I go to the internet for articles, John. I don't know what you're doing on the internet.
I'm just saying, from my understanding, from what I hear from friends, ones with the porn sites are the ones with the pop-ups.
That's your experience. I don't know if it's better or worse there.
Dave,
Yeah, John. Hi.
why am I yawning so much? It's
John,
not-
it's not even like late there. It's like 7:30.
I know. I don't know what the deal is. I've been getting up too early and not being able to sleep well. Anyway,
Nobody's sleeping well, John. No
Dave,
one.
I put 2 GameCube games on my Pi 4.
Okay.
Now, 2 things happened here. One, I bumped something, and the way the case is, my Pi has now fallen out of how it's being held twice.
Oh, that's
So I
a
need
bad
to-
case. You need a new case.
Well, the problem is it's not made to be upside down, and so it doesn't latch on tight enough to like hold the weight of it.
Oh.
I need to install a strap over it, right, to like hold it in place better.
Or you need to get a flirt case.
No, the case is great.
Okay.
It's just not made to be held upside down.
Okay.
And so I had to like move some stuff because it was putting too much weight on parts of it. Anyway, it's fine. I installed GameCube. First of all, the process to get GameCube ready, you have to go set it up to overclock it. And you got to do a couple other little things. So it reboots it like 4 or 5 times. And you get in there, and there's not like a icon for this emulator, right? You have to go into this other thing and type in these words. And there's like a README file. You can just copy and paste your way through it. So I get in there and I had 2 games. Animal Crossing, because I just was curious, and it was high up on this one site that I found that was safe to get these ROMs. And the other one was Mario Strikers, one of my favorite GameCube games of all time. Mario Strikers, the sound was very glitchy and whatever.
I was gonna say.
But the gameplay wasn't perfectly smooth, but it was smooth enough to be able to play and actually have a good time. It didn't work great,
That
but
sound
it worked great enough.
That sound thing drives me
Oh, yeah, no, that was
bonkers.
terrible.
It's unplayable at that point for me.
Okay. Then I tried Animal Crossing because I was just curious. And you know how big I've been into Animal Crossing lately. I put over 200 hours into the new one, by the way.
Tell me you found a ROM hack where like everything is awful.
No. No.
Okay.
So I start playing this, and I realize one of the reasons I wanted to do Animal Crossing is I figured it wouldn't use as much power to make the game go, and I could see how it worked and everything. Man, that was the wrong game to choose.
I was
You know
gonna
how
say.
long the intros are for an Animal Crossing game before you get to do anything.
Oh
Like, You're
God.
sitting there forever hearing this person talk with sound that's not great.
Oh.
For like 20 minutes. And so I'm sitting here like, I just want to try the game just to see how well it runs. And I'm sitting through 20 minutes of you talking to some stupid blue cat. Right?
Rover,
And
right?
it's-
Rover.
Yeah, Rover. And so I finally get into the game, and he moves around. He actually walks around okay. Like, the walking is smooth enough. Whenever a scene loads in, like when the train comes in, and that loaded in super slow, and like going through doors was a little bit slow, but the actual moving around was okay. And I didn't put enough time. One, I wasn't going to put enough time into it. I don't know how long it takes, whatever, to get like a net to try to catch a bug to see how that animation goes. But I learned 2 things from this. I need both of these games. I need the actual physical copy of both of these games.
Yeah. You know, I was having an emulation conversation with a guy at work today, and it's just like, look, I like that we can do this. I love the hackery kind of, RetroPie idea of it. But it's not what I want. I want the games. I want the original consoles. I want them hooked up to TVs.
Yeah. Except for the arcade stuff and
right.
Atari.
No, the arcade.
I'm okay without Atari.
The arcade stuff's great. The arcade fighting game aspect of it, perfect for that. But that's because it's a separate project in its own way. It's not. It's not a console. It's not meant to play games. It's meant to play, this kind of game specifically.
So along those lines, I've bought a few retro games. I found some deals on them through GameStop, which you'll hear people like collectors like, don't buy it through GameStop. But the reality is, you buy it through GameStop if you want to, if you get the good deal, right? So some of it was like, you buy a certain number of used games, like 50% off. So I was able to get some good deals, way better than I could find other places. And like, if I got them,
The retro game store opened.
Oh, ours I don't think has yet.
They reopened yesterday. On my walk to work, I saw them in the window, and I saw a stack of Animal Crossing cards. Animal Crossing Amiibo cards in the window.
Like in the packages?
Yeah,
or
like in the packages, like never opened. And I'm like,
how much were they charging for them?
$5.
$5 for unopened packages?
Yeah. And so I was like, well, damn, they don't open for another hour, and I have to go to work. So I'll come back immediately after work. They were
gone.
Yeah.
I went online and started looking for those.
Yeah.
Looking for those, and you cannot find one for under $30. And so here's the thing. I want to start collecting something with my kids or whatever. But baseball cards, all that stuff don't work. These things would be perfect. There's like a couple hundred of them, I think. Right?
There's 400.
Yeah. And so that's plenty to try to collect and try to see who the new one you have. I'm not going to use them in the game. I've decided that's not how I want to use them because I like the go and find the character, not the make a certain character appear thing.
I mean, I like that, but it's a good way to get somebody to move out.
Yeah, but it forces someone else to move in its place. You still don't get to do the hunting part of it, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Amy, starting tomorrow, Amy should start being able to get new characters on her island. So I'm very excited for that.
I got to explore your slums. That was pretty fun.
You like my slums?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I had my 3 neighborhoods, my real nice ones, my slums, my middle class. But anyway, I need to get these cards because I just want them to collect, but I'm not paying $30. I don't know what Dave just did, but his headphones just went flying off his head. But anyway, so Dave, if you find Dave, you gotta put these headphones on. There you go.
I had an itch on my ear, and I went, like this, and then I just flinged the whole headphone off.
So Dave, if you happen to run across some place that has those, especially for that price, buy a bunch. I'll send you the money, and you can mail them to me.
Yeah, John.
Or if you keep it for yourself.
I was gonna keep it for myself, but they were gone, and I went in there and I was like, all right, I'm going in for 3 things. I'm making this trip worth it, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in here and get the PS1 versions of Tony Hawk before they rise in price and get stupid priced. Because
You think they will?
I had the N64 versions. They had Crash 2, and it was $40 for PS1.
That's a lot though, right?
That's a lot of money. So I'm just gonna grab these before they even start repricing stuff. They're gonna have copies of Tony Hawk. Come on. Nope, they're all gone. I think this store reopened for 1 day and got completely gutted. For anything worthwhile was gone.
I need to find out when another castle opens back up, and I might just go down there when they open.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, and it's just I was committed to I'm going in here, we're gonna get something, and then I locked out with nothing. And it's well, I guess I'll come back when this thing semi feels like we're going into normal world again.
So anyway, what I was saying though is I bought a few retro games, and so in the first batch, I was buying some stuff for Amy and Ryan to play some Lego games that were on sale. But in the first batch, I bought a Genesis game and a Super Nintendo game. I won't tell you what the Genesis game was because I'll talk about that maybe when we do a Shelved and Forgotten segment at some point. But
okay,
sorry, a Shelved and Forgotten segment. Who knows? It'll be funny or not. You never know. But I picked up Mario is Missing for the Super Nintendo. Have you ever seen this game?
I know about this game.
But have you ever seen it? I've known about it, but I've never seen it until I put it on today. It is very strange. It is so far, and I've only put a few minutes into it, nothing like any other Mario game I've ever played. It is so weird. You're walking down these sidewalks, and there's Peach, and she runs the thing that they're the Golden Gate Bridge, because apparently it takes place in the U.S. And this Peach-looking character is behind the thing saying, sorry, it's closed, and yelling at Mario. And then if you want to cross to another street, you have to cross at the crosswalk. You can't just walk across the street. No, it'll stop you. You have to cross at the crosswalk. It's bizarre. You can run right past these Koopa Troopa guys, and they won't hurt you because they're passing you. But if you jump next to them, then it squishes them. I don't know what you get out of it. It's just the strangest freaking game.
But you bought this?
Yeah, it's a Mario game that I didn't own.
How much was it?
I probably paid $7-8. Like, not much.
Weird.
Yeah.
What do you got to spend on GameStop to get free shipping? 35.
$35 to get free slow as hell shipping.
GameStop, get it together.
No, look, that's not bad, right? So, so the next time I bought, I have like 5 games coming, probably in a week, because I needed to get. You've got 5, you got 50% off, right? And so the sad part is now looking back at those other games I would have bought, because I know of some other ones, and it turns out I bought a Genesis version of a game I already have on Super Nintendo that I didn't realize it. It's Real Monsters, which is a very good game.
Well, now you have both versions, John.
I do have both versions. Oh man. So anyway, yeah, that game is very weird. Speaking of games I should have bought though, I went online to see if I could pick up the Wii U and the Wii versions of Paper Mario, because the new Paper Mario game was announced today.
You mean Paper Mario Color Splash, the game I won from the Nintendo dads and never opened it? I think it's still wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is I own the first.
I might have booted it up. No, I booted it up one time for Shelved and Forgotten and played it for a very short period of time.
Yeah, well, I want it only because I want to have them all.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the only one I haven't played, except for like the 3DS one. And so I looked at it. So the Wii one was like $17 or $18 used, right? The Wii U one new was $20, but out of stock. Used was $30. And it just kills me when they do that.
Why do they do this?
It's probably because at the time they bought it for a certain amount and they're like, well, we'll just sell it for this. But here's the deal. Had I gotten it instead of a couple of the other games, when I had that 50% off, it would have been 15 and like 8. And then I would have like for sure jumped on those.
They still doing this, buy 5, get 50%
No,
off?
it was a 1-day thing. I got an email.
When you see that next time, you let me know.
Okay, I will. I also
or any actually good GameStop deal, because clearly they have retro games to ship.
They do, and you have to be careful. I mean,
yeah.
I have the stuff to take them apart, make sure it's real. If it's not real, you have a week to turn it back in, regardless of if it works or not. You're like, I just don't want this. So
I feel like you're pretty safe on like N64 and stuff. I know there's fake shit going around, but
yeah, I honestly have never gotten screwed by them. But there are retro game collectors like, oh, that's not how you should do it. You should go to retro game stores or buy them on eBay or blah blah. It's like, no, if I get the better deal at GameStop, I'm going to use GameStop, right? Like,
right.
Not to mention so Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter, if you use the code CAG16, you get 16% off anything used. Used games.
I've been keeping my eye on eBay lately. Just trying to find some stuff. I hate eBay.
I understand.
I hate it. I never got into it. I never really liked it before, and I kind of just let it go and never used it and accepted it. It's like eBay is a thing that other people understand and enjoy, and I don't like it. And and now that I'm like actually using it, I'm like, yeah, I actually still hate this. And I hate the way that like bidding works. I hate the way that, people wait till the last minute to bid. Like, I hate all of it.
No, it's frustrating.
And then I watch stuff and I'm like, all right, that's a good price for that Switch game. That's awesome. Let me see if I can get it for what I want to pay for it. And then you put that bid in and it sits and sits and sits and sits and sits. And then it's got like 2 hours left and then somebody outbids you.
Dude,
it's like, that's dumb. And they also paid more money than that game is worth, and I don't understand why that's a thing.
I will almost not bid on anything that has more than a day left, and it's like time. Like, I just won't. And I've sold stuff, and I'll get like the notifications when it's bidding, and like the last day you start seeing the bids come in, and like the last few minutes where it's like bing, 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 bing as the bids are like really coming in. If it's like a product that people want, video games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how I sold my so when I bought my second Switch, I bought the Fortnite one. Like, there's nothing special about the Switch itself, but it came with a code for something for Fortnite. Like, it was like 1,000 V-Bucks maybe, and some skin that was a Switch exclusive. So the Switch is $300, and I sold that code for like 130.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, so I basically only paid half price for my second Switch, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Dave,
I'm also never going to sell on eBay. It feels like too much work.
it can be, but it can also be where you get the best deals. Dave, I have something I could use help with.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I don't know if you're going to have the answer, but I'm hoping someone's going to have the answer.
Does it involve spending money? Because I love helping you spend money.
Oh, God. You have done way too good of a job of that, especially when we're doing Shelved and Forgotten.
Still
We got to find it. We got to find some kind of a segment. We got to find a segment that has to do with like something to convince me to buy, but we can only do it once a month.
Because
Like,
about 80% of the time it's going to work.
yeah, no, it will. So if we can figure out a name for this and how it would go, or maybe it's one of those things where like the segment is people send you suggestions directly, not me. Like they DM you suggestions,
Yeah,
and then you pick one that you think is low enough in cost but good enough in value that you can convince me to buy it.
Should John buy this or not? That's the segment name. Should John buy this or not?
No, that's too much. That's too much. We got to come up with something catchier than that. We'll do it.
Should John buy this or not? Who knows?
Yeah. everything we're gonna do, it's gonna be like, can this kill you? Who knows? Like, more pop, less flop. Who knows? Okay. I have a 7-in-1 surround sound system. Panasonic or something like that. It's not a Bose system, but it's good. I've had it for 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. I want to get it hung. In my last house, when they were building the house, I told them, and they set it up with the wires and everything going through the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Well, this house was already built, like structurally built and everything before it, so we couldn't do anything like that. I looked up in the attic-y area today, and there's so much insulation up there that it would be just this huge pain in the ass to try to do this and to try to run the wires from the back, like the bottom back of the wall, which is an exterior wall, so it's going to have all the insulation going through there, get it up into the overhead and drop back down again. Mm-hmm. Like I do not want to do this that way. And also there's another room I'd consider putting it in. I need to figure out how to do this. And ideally a good way without spending $200 to make it basically where the back half is wireless.
Yeah, John, I don't have a solution for this.
So I have
I'll tell you a story, John. Let me let you in on a little story. In the early 2000s, my parents decided to build a back room under the back of the house, to build a very large addition. Okay. Now, part of that addition was a crawl space in the basement underneath of this giant back room that they were adding. Like big enough to have like a giant sofa, big TV, big closet, and like another dining room table, essentially, was this room. Okay. And that was our main room for pretty much everything. We called it the family room. It had a bazillion windows, which was the first mistake that they made. Like, not 2 windows on every wall. No, like 6 windows on every wall. Okay. And big, giant, like big doors that had windows. So, and then skylights. So this was the room that we were going to watch all the TV in, and there was always a giant glare on this TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an awful mistake. It's a very pretty room. We will never deny that. It probably is what sold the house when we sold the house, right?
Okay.
Yet they don't know the curse that is, this is the room you put the TV in, and there's not a TV that's bright enough you can watch TV in there. The other thing is, because this room was so giant and open and huge, they had a big sound system installed, because that's what you were doing in that era. Like big surround sound. It was a perfect idea.
Surround sound's amazing. I don't care what era we're in.
Yeah, right. So, well, this is before everybody had it, or before it was cheap enough to buy a system, like a normal human being. Okay. So the big deal was we're going to run the wires through all the walls and have all this stuff. Okay. Now this room had tile floor, was huge and open, with big glass windows. Do you know what the surround sound sounded like in that room?
Did it echo a lot?
It echoed a lot. Like so much, John, that we never used it. We bought probably what was a $2,000 surround sound system, had all the wires run, put into the walls, the whole 9 yards. And I think those wires are actually the out-of-date wires. So the person who bought the house, like even if they put their own system in, I think they'd have to run them, which would be easy because it was all through the crawl space. Like it wouldn't be as challenging as the scenario you're in, right? But it was so bad, we never used it. Never. We turned it on like once, and then never used it again.
Oh, that's funny.
So what I'm telling you, John, is that surround sound systems in my life have never really been a thing.
Oh,
not in my house, which is why I love movie theaters and sitting in the optical, the perfect seat to be perfectly aligned with the speakers. If you study film and go to film school, you learn. Like there's you can sit anywhere in a movie theater. It should be great. That's not really true. That's a false. That's a false statement. There is a perfect seat in the middle of the theater where the sound is perfect, where you're seeing the perfect amount of the screen. You're sitting back exactly the far enough away, but not all the way back.
Yeah.
So John, it's a pain in the ass to run surround sound, and that's why I just put really, really nice big stereo systems with subwoofers by my TVs, and then I can listen to, everything sounds pretty damn good in stereo.
So, what's funny is like the TV in our bedroom does a great job of like giving a surround sound effect, especially for a bedroom sized room, right? Mm-hmm. A closed in room we have an okay sized bedroom, but it's not huge.
Right.
There are times when I will think I'm hearing something down the hall that's really something on my TV. Like that's how good it is at like doing this weird sound thing. That's a
good TV with a good sound system.
Yeah, not expensive TV. This was a very inexpensive, like less than $300 probably TV.
Right. That's really good. That's
yeah. No, it's awesome. If I buy another one, it'll probably be the same TV. Anyway, the TV in the game room, I don't like the TV all that much, but it's fine. In the game room, it's a closed-in area. In our living room, which is where we end up watching the most TV right now and watch movies and stuff as a family, the sound is bad in there. And even with the sound bar we have, it's difficult to get good sound.
I don't like sound bars.
The sound bar is okay, but the problem is the way of like how big the room is and how completely open it is on one side. Like you have to end up cranking these things up. Like on the TV alone, you cannot get enough sound half the time to actually hear what you're trying to hear. So I almost want to run it in there, but if it's in there, it has to look nice. It's on the bottom floor, and I'm not going to run wires on the floor, but between first and second floor, like that ceiling area.
So where do you want surround sound?
Okay, well, initially I was going to talk about putting it in the game room, because that was going to be the room where people watch the movies and people played the video games and all that stuff. But that room doesn't get used for that all that often. So either way, I don't want to. I've got to the point where either way, I'm trying to find a way not to have to run everything. Now, I have this rocket fish thing that will basically connect wirelessly the back speakers. And I used it at a house we had about 12 or so years ago.
Will it sync properly?
So I don't remember how well it worked. I remember having issues with it, but I don't remember what it was.
Good, because my issue is timing.
I don't remember timing ever being an issue. This is the thing, though, I had where I really fell in love with the surround sound, because playing like Madden and you have the crowd yelling behind you. It's amazing.
Look, I understand the experience. I would love to have this. If somebody wants to send me a wireless system, like built to be wireless, sure, fine. Tell me a good one. But if there's even the slightest a Bluetooth delay, I will die. It will eat me up inside to an unbelievable level. I can't stand it. I don't even like that when I use Bluetooth speakers with my phone that the time code is wrong when I'm listening to a podcast. And this is just audio. There shouldn't even be a thing that I notice, except that I can tell when there's a 6-second delay. And
So-
please don't do that to me.
I started looking up some of these like things that make it wireless, and you still have wires running to some extent, but you can hide them better. They're not running as far, they're not running across your house or anything like that. But they're for like the good ones, the ones that people really recommend, it's $200. And for that
Yeah.
price, I'll just sell what I have and buy a new surround sound system, which I think I'm going to look up right after we get off this call.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, John. Is find a better system. Find one that works for your new setup. It's probably better to spend the money on doing that than to spend $200 on a solution that might only half work.
You know what makes me really sad
That's my advice.
is I really now want to buy a wireless surround sound. This is that segment. This is that segment where you try to talk me into buying something, and now I'm looking it around. I'm looking at it for the. Oh, but see, this is bullshit.
Yeah, this is my problem, John.
No, this one's not, but it only has 3.5 stars. I'm not buying this one for 3.5 stars.
How much
but
is
I am
it?
going to look at it because it's only $93.
See, well, yeah. What?
Dave, I found one. True 360, Cinema Surround, DTSX, Plug and Play, Dolby ATMDS, 7.1.4 channel, 600 watt.
And it
It's got a sound bar. It's got the thing. It's got the other speakers. It's $750.
Hey, speaker manufacturers.
Yes, stop.
Your speakers do not cost more than 2 Xbox One X's. Can we just in a global pandemic where there are no Xboxes, no PS4s and Switches, I can still get an Xbox One X on eBay, 2 of them for less money than your speaker system.
Logitech has some good looking ones here, but I don't know.
LG makes my stereo that I hooked up to my TV. I really like my stereo for my TV.
Yeah, I need to look at some of these. So this one here is $93, which is not bad. $93 is fine. And it's a 5-in-1 surround sound with Bluetooth. I'm assuming it's actually wireless, but oh no, it might not be. It isn't. I do not think it's wireless. Connect device via Bluetooth. Okay, so here's the thing. And this is dumb. Ready for this, Dave? It's wireless from the TV to the base of the system, but not from that to the speakers.
Yes, right. John, this is the problem.
What the hell? What good does that do anyone?
What it does is allows you to play music from your phone on it.
Dude, so I came home. I had to go to work for a little while today. So I had it's 45-minute drive each way. So it's an hour and a half of driving. And I was probably at work for 45 minutes. I just had to check a few things and get the hell out of there. So I left my house. My wife was playing Animal Crossing. She started her own island on our other Switch. Oh, and I have something to say about that too, by the way. And I come home. She's kicked back. We have this big chair. We have a couch and we have 2 big chairs. And so she was sitting on the chair sideways because this chair is big enough to sit on it sideways. Your legs cover the arm, facing the TV. She had Spotify playing on her sound bar because she discovered the fact that she could Bluetooth her phone to the sound bar, right? And then she was playing Animal Crossing on the TV. And there she is, just sitting there playing Animal Crossing, listening to Spotify, just kicked back. And I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
My wife doesn't play video games.
She didn't since God, I can't tell you when the last one she played that much of. So Dave, this one could be a winner. I need to look at this.
Rachel insisted forever that she did not like video games. The video games were not her thing. She'll play Mario Kart, but she's not really into it. And I told her now, I'm like, listen, you put 200 hours into Animal Crossing. You can't say you don't like video games anymore. You can only say that you only like certain video games, because 200 hours into a game, I think, is enough to say you like it. That you like. So it's okay to like only one video game. You just can't. You can't hate all other video games then, because of that. You can't say video games is a medium I dislike.
So Amy hasn't played. She'll play like the Lego games every once in a while,
Right.
but she has gotten hooked hardcore on this. And here's the thing. So she started playing. She joined my island, and I was like, "That's fine. That's cool. Whatever." Right. But I was like, "I'm gonna start traveling again, and if she had her own island, when I travel, she can still play.
Right.
Also, she can have her own villagers, which half the fun to me is like searching for villagers. So I'm like super looking forward to her looking for villagers. All these things. I'm like, so I talked to her like, well, why don't you start your own island? Like you're only 6 days in. Start your own island. I'll send you money. I have plenty of bells. I now have, by the way, I have like 13.5 million bells in my bank. I was like, I'll send you bells. I'll help you pay off stuff. I'll send you supplies.
This is why you can send me a server and a.
Yeah. I had no problems with that. But I was like, I'll do all these things for you. I'll send you your stuff, all the stuff you've collected over the last week, whatever.
Right.
And I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to start over and have her send me my stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But the problem is I would have had to have changed which switch was my primary switch. Yeah. And I would have had to done this whole thing.
Oh, trust me, John. So there was a point where I thought I could get another switch. And I was prepared to move Rachel to her own island because she likes it so much. And the reality is I like sharing the island with her. But I told her this too, it'd be really fun for us to each have our own island. So
yeah, when you have your own fruits and you go back and forth.
We can visit each other and play together at the same time, and everybody can play together. Like we can all go on the island, meaning you, me, her, and Jeff, and everybody. Like we can all play together, which would be great. So I thought, sure, and we'll get another Switch. It's impossible right now. It's fine. I'm just gonna let it go. It's not a big deal. I like sharing the island with her, but I understand why you wanted to do that. Well, but when I got to that point, I said, man, she's like, I knew she didn't want to start over, and I didn't want to make her start over because she's so far in, but now I know how to play this game. Like, now I understand how to place buildings. I now understand, like, when I'm going to get tools. I now understand, like, what my layout should be. I understand not to block rivers. I understand not to do this. I want to start over.
Well,
I couldn't, like, I can't give her the island. So it was either going to be we both have to start over, which would suck. Yeah. Right? Or, she starts over and I just bring her all her stuff, which is fine. Whatever.
There was still this part of me, it's like, but to have that chance to gain your initial villagers again. Like the other stuff, I don't mind. Like the initial stuff she's having to do, like whatever. I could do that stuff. As long as like all the stuff I bought and collected, like all my instruments, because I now have 3 guitars and a harp and a grand piano and that's podcasting stuff. Like send that stuff to me so I don't have to buy it again, right? And send me like half my bells. Keep half my bells. Send me half my bells. Right. That's fine. I'll split my 13 million bells with you. Right. Right. But just that thought of like I get to pick my villagers again. I get to go villager hunting again, and that's what excited me.
And see, the first time I picked all my villagers, like I didn't know what I was doing either. I agree.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Ended up with a couple bad ones.
I had freaking Mira, and somebody published a list yesterday. Like Mira was a high requested villager, and I'm like, no, Mira sucks.
Well, you also don't like Ed, and I like Ed.
I don't dislike Ed. I think Ed's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, Amy has Buck.
I would not get rid of Ed right now.
So I have my hierarchy, and you've seen this by my neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm. Although somebody in your slums gave me a DIY, so
Yeah, anyone in the slums, take them with you. I'm good with anyone in the slums going. The ones in the middle class neighborhood, I like them, but if they ask to leave, I'm going to let them leave. And actually, with the exception of maybe one, maybe 2 in my high class neighborhood, I'd let them leave as well, just so I could go find someone new, right? Just to have that moment.
Oh, see,
there's 1 or 2 in my high class neighborhood though, like Sherb's never leaving. He asked one time, I rejected that shit.
Yeah, right.
Sherb's too awesome. Dave.
Yes,
We're coming up about 45 minutes, Dave, and I have not told you the most exciting thing that I have to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Dave, I was having this thought recently, and I had an idea for a show. for a bit. It couldn't be an entire show.
Okay.
But it could definitely be a session.
A session?
Right? It could definitely be a session. A segment. It could be a segment. It's only one beer I've drank, Dave. Only one beer. So, Dave, I am going to...
Sessions is that new skateboarding game coming, too. We've got Skater XL. We've got Sessions. We got Tony Hawk.
Is that really a game?
Yeah, Sessions is a thing.
Dave, there's a game coming out on the 21st. It's a World War I fighter pilot game coming on Switch, and it's coming out to everything else like later in the year. Trying to get a code for it to review it for the Mega Dads. I need to look at how much it is. I might just have to buy it. I love World War I games. The problem is this game has like power-ups and skill trees that get evolved. And I'm like, no, I just want to be in my biplane or in my triplane. Fly. Have you ever seen a World War I dogfight from like far away? It looks like a bunch of mosquitoes flying around because of how just like maneuverable they were. Anyway, this game's coming out. Looks like great. So I have the intro for it. It's a clip from a TV show would be the intro for this thing.
Okay.
And then I will explain to you what the show is. Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
I really hope this works well. I hope you can hear it good. Here it
I have
comes.
one of those French things that shoots water up your butt.
Bidet.
Bidet to you, sir.
So, if you didn't catch what was said, the one guy goes, I have one of those French things, shoots water up your butt. And the other guy goes, a bidet? First guy goes, bidet to you, sir. So, from my favorite sitcom ever is from Scrubs. So the show would be called Bidet to You, Sir.
Okay.
And the whole show, or the whole segment, would be us talking or arguing about maybe an item in your bathroom that you could just say goodbye to and get rid of forever.
You know, John, remember last episode when I said if somebody was pretty gung-ho on a segment idea and we would commit to it? I think I have to take that one back. I think...
Dave, are you telling me? Oh, my God. Oh. Are you telling me, Dave, that you would not do one episode?
No, I'll do one. I'll do one segment of the day, but I need more than 5 seconds to. I need to I need to get up. I need to go through my bathroom. I need to think.
This is not something to do right now.
I have to write down jokes. This is one of those times where, like, you know, I have to workshop this a little bit.
The key. Okay, so here'd be the key to this one is it would have to whatever one of us picked something that was being thrown out for good. It would have to be something the other one was at least somewhat passionate about not losing, right? Or could at least fake it well. I would prefer it be something like I really hate and you really like, and we could actually argue about this thing being in the bathroom. But for whatever reason, that clip pops up in my head all the time. And it's not like I saw that episode recently. I haven't seen that episode in a while. But that clip popped in my head, and I was like, oh, my God, this is the greatest idea ever. And by greatest, I mean worst, but hilarious to me.
John, you want to talk about the worst thing ever?
What's that?
So on Netflix, I was binging old cartoons, right? Like just you know,
as you should.
My childhood, because it just makes me feel good. But I decided to, you know, also watch that 70s show through its entirety, right? Which is a show that I like. I never thought it was like the greatest show ever, but it's a show that I've enjoyed.
It's one of those shows where when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, that's funny, but I don't need to see the next episode.
Right. But I got through very slowly, mind you, 4 seasons of that 70s show. Okay. That's where I'm at. Now, at the end of the 4th season, they do a musical episode, John.
Yes. Most shows have at least one musical episode.
It was, how do I put this lightly? It was the worst fucking episode of a TV show I've ever watched.
So most of the time, when a show does its musical episode, it's really not cool. Like, it's really bad. Or at least I almost always hate the musical episodes of shows.
Look. I understand if there's one person on the cast who can, like, surprisingly belt it out. Like, oh, I didn't know that person could sing. Okay? No, there's not a single person on this cast who can sing even like okay. Like they're all terrible. John, it was so bad that I almost look. I said I'm gonna get through this show. I'm gonna watch the entirety of the show of it all the way through because I've seen probably all of it in reruns as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna watch it slowly. I'm not binging through it hardcore. I'm watching it like an episode here and there, right?
Yeah.
And it was so awful, so terrible that I basically considered whether I even continue watching the show. I'm like, is this it? That was it. The show has officially gone off the deep end. It's not good. It's not like my brain like went through the process of, was this show ever good? Was it even a show worth watching?
I mean, I can't answer that because I was never a fan.
Okay. It's an okay show. I like the characters. I'm invested because I watched it while I was growing up.
Yeah.
But I after watching that bad of an episode, I had to consider whether it's a show that was ever worth watching.
I mean, and my answer would be no.
And I watched one more episode since, and it was definitely a better episode. Part of the reason I enjoy this show is it has its moments that are really well done. Right?
Yeah.
And this next episode, that is the one I just watched before we recorded while I had dinner, was one of those moments that it has like that heart-to-heart kind of moment. And it ends up working out. I'm like, okay, this is the reason I like this show. Thank God this was the next episode after that horrible, horrible music episode. because if the episode after that had been one of those ones where you're like, yeah, it's okay, I probably would be like, okay, I'm done watching this. I also, John, I bought something today.
Yeah.
I bought something that I didn't need to buy it, but I bought it anyway because I want to send a message. Okay?
Okay.
The movie Scoob, the new Scooby-Doo movie,
Yeah.
was supposed to come out in theaters like this week. And I was
Okay.
prepared to go to the theater and go watch it because I have, Jeff's favorite cartoon of all time is Scooby-Doo. I would have gone with Jeff to the movie theater. Well,
Okay.
because we can't go to the movie theater, and I won't go to the movie theater until next year, they decided to release it just straight to digital. Just you could just buy it. It's
That's something that they've been starting to do.
It's $25. I just hit buy and just said, I'm gonna watch this tomorrow as if I was gonna go to the theater.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, is $20 is a lot less than it's going to cost you and Rachel to go see a movie.
No, because the movie theater tickets would be $13 a piece.
Yeah.
So I would have spent $26 for just tickets, and I would have spent $55 on popcorn. You know what I mean?
55?
Yeah.
Wait, are you buying the machine with it?
You know how much a large... you get in there and you're like, all right, I need my movie tickets. You get on Fandango, right? Fandango?
I like the way you pronounce it.
Fandango. And you get on there and you like buy your tickets, and after like convenience fees and a bunch of other stupid stuff, it ends up being like $30 for two people to get movie theater tickets. Not 3D, normal standard showing at a time that you didn't agree to, mentally, but it's the time that they're showing the movie, right?
Yeah.
So it ends up being $30. So spending $26 after tax to buy a movie digitally that I now own forever doesn't feel like that big of a deal. But I did it mostly to say I want them to do this more often. I want movies
100%.
I want movies to do this forever. I love the theater. I love going to like a big Avengers movie so much on an opening night.
I hate going to the theater because of how much it costs.
I didn't say I like the cost.
I
like going to Avengers Endgame opening night in a crowded theater with a bunch of people who gasp and cheer and clap at the exact right moments. I love that. And I will always go to a theater as long as they exist.
But Dave, when you're paying $50 or more, $60 for you, your wife, and your 2 kids to go, and then whatever the snacks cost, it really takes a toll. Also, I guess when I'm seeing those movies, I'm not seeing a movie that I care to see in the theater anyway.
So when it comes to my kids that I don't have, right? And this is the perfect example.
So when it comes to you taking other people's kids to the movies,
yes, John.
These kids that you don't have.
If it were a movie like Scoob, right? Which is a dumb movie.
That you pick up some kids off the street to go to.
John, don't make this weird.
Can
that be a segment? John, don't make this weird.
You know how easily I could just make something weird. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
or not.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
And when it's a movie like Scoob, I don't give a shit about going to the theater. What I would have done is gone with Jeff and and a couple of my friends and been like, we're going because this is a thing that matters to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about the theater then. It's just about this fun movie. It's the reason we went to Sonic together, right? Because Sonic's a stupid movie that is surprisingly better than it should be. But it's meant for that fun, like we're going out as a couple guys going to the dumb Sonic movie. Anyway, point of this, I just wanted to acknowledge that I bought that movie directly to say, please keep doing this. After this is all over, please just keep putting movies like this. I have a nice enough TV at home. I have a nice stereo system. I like my popcorn that I make at home better.
Yeah. Although I have people that will argue with me. Amy, my wife, and Chelsea Capri will argue.
I love movie theater popcorn. Don't misunderstand me. It's not good though. The shit I make at home, that stuff is good. Like a real good.
Well, my wife and Chelsea have both argued with me saying that movie theater popcorn is the best popcorn. I don't understand it.
Then they're making their popcorn at home. They're making it wrong, John. Now let me tell you how I make my popcorn at home.
Ooh,
this is important.
Can we have a segment that's like Cooking with Dave?
Cooking with Dave. Dave knows how to make 6 things, so we'll just go over the 6 things he knows how to make.
And then that'll be the last time the segment happens.
That's fine. We could do that. You want to go over how you make popcorn?
Yeah. Here, let me hit. I was gonna try to put some cool phrase in there, like lay it on me, but I could not get the words to come out.
You just did, John.
Hey, I nailed it that time.
There's only one way to make popcorn at home. Okay. There's a pot called a whirly pop.
I've heard of this thing.
Okay, you need a whirly pop.
Okay. How does that work?
It is a pot with a lid.
Okay.
And on the lid, it has like little prongs on the inside that spin the popcorn around when you crank the handle on the side of the pot.
So you have to crank it the whole time you're cooking it?
Yes. So,
okay.
Popcorn kernels, your standard Orville Redenbacher popcorn kernels. This is actually really important.
Okay, Orville Redenbacher.
Orville Redenbacher popcorn. It comes in the bottles with the screw tops. Good place.
Okay.
Good place to get this is Costco, right? Get that. Okay. Pour a lot of that in, like a little bit more than you think you need to eat, right?
Okay.
Because it's just this is how it works out. You take a little bit of canola oil or whatever oil you got, cooking oil, right?
Okay.
Pour just a thin layer around the edge of that, right? Just so it's all, just a layer of oil. Okay.
Do you stir that oil around?
Now you start cranking the thing and mix all the popcorn into the oil so that it's all, perfectly coated.
It's all oily.
It's all oily. That, just
okay.
I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to make that joke.
Okay. I can't believe we're going through this, but I cannot wait to hear how this ends.
No, this is important. This is how you make popcorn at home, and you will never want movie theater popcorn ever again. Okay.
Wait, will I have to start bringing popcorn in like the cargo pockets in my shorts? Like
Yes,
sneak in home popcorn?
Yes, that's exactly what you need to do. It'll be really buttery though. Okay.
Oh, no.
So you mix this all up. You start heating it, right? Heat it at a medium high, pretty close to high, right? Until this thing just keeps spinning. It just keeps spinning. Just keep spinning. Okay. Now once it starts popping, start turning the heat down just a little bit because you don't want to burn the popcorn. Keep cranking as much as you can. Now the pot's gonna get.
You gotta crank it.
It's gonna get full. Now if you didn't put enough popcorn in, the lid will not start to pop up. You want the popcorn to like hit the top of the lid, so the lid starts popping up the top. That means you've made it perfectly. Turn the heat off. Keep cranking it. Let it pop. Okay.
Okay.
Now you need to melt half a stick of butter.
That's a lot of butter, but I feel you on this.
This is important, John.
You need lots of butter.
Go get the salted butter. Standard
Sure.
salted butter doesn't really matter. Just standard salted butter. Melt that into a cup with like a measuring cup is really good because you could pour it. Okay, half a stick of butter. Sea salt from Costco, the sea salt, like the big sea salt containers.
Okay.
Lather that butter on there. Mix it up. Salt it. You now have the greatest popcorn you've ever had in your entire life.
So I have or I don't know if we still have it or not, but for a long time we had like an air popper.
Mm-hmm.
Is that no good?
It's fine, but it's the reason that you still think that movie theater popcorn is better.
I don't. I prefer it at home.
Yeah.
I also can eat less buttery popcorn and be happy.
This whirly pop, like John, I've made a lot of Stone Top popcorn.
I have no doubt, Dave.
This whirly pop is the secret. It is the secret to homemade popcorn. You cannot make better popcorn without it.
Okay.
This is not an ad. This is not an ad, although there probably is a pretty good commercial, John.
Oh.
You don't have to do that if you had one already.
Well, the funny thing is I had to reboot a lot of stuff, and I didn't.
This has been the Forget Being Cool podcast. You learned how to make popcorn. You learned that buying the movie Scoop is definitely 100% worth it, and I have not watched it because it doesn't come out till tomorrow. You do not watch the musical episode of That 70s Show. It is terrible. Make sure you put all your villagers that you don't like in the slums. And by in the slums, I mean like on the lower level, surrounded by cliffs with a bunch of dirt and like that shitty rope fencing. Tuck them down there, make them leave. Don't worry, they'll do DIYs for your friends who visit. It's fine. They just have to climb down there and get them. John has 16 million bells and counting. Dave has 700,000 bells because he's a poor person who belongs in John's slums. I'm trying to stall for John. You can follow Johnny at Johnny_Casino. You can follow me at Tell You Dave. You can follow the show and the website at Forget Being Cool. This has been a fun time doing this during this global pandemic that we are currently experiencing. And I would like to remind everybody that John and I will be back, but I can't tell you when. See you guys on Monday, hopefully.
What is so great? What is so great, Dave?
That was not enough time.
No. It's okay. So I lost all the commercials I was going to do before, and then now I was going to try to find that one, and it did not work. And so this is the commercial that people get. I hope it's a real commercial. Thanks for listening. Sega Genesis launch commercial.
And so it was, late in the 20th century, that a pox fell upon the land, a plague of home videos that were limited in intelligence. There was brain drain, and terminal boredom swept the countryside. The maker looked down and was not pleased by what he saw, and said, "This is not good."
This commercial is so much better with video.
And so it was. He brought forth Genesis, a system with twice the power, twice the intelligence, twice the challenge, twice the fun. Only a chosen few were called forth to experience this new dimension of high-definition graphics and stereo sound.
It's not HD.
And the makers saw what he had done and said, now that's not bad. Discover Genesis, and your world will never be the same.
So in this internal boredom that we're existing in right now, is Genesis about to come and get us?